Hello, I'm Martin Kimmeldorf, author of a book of love poems and photographs entitled How to Be in Love Forever. It's part of a series of presentations and articles exploring the different ways one can express their love to those who matter most. In this particular presentation, I'm going to talk about romantic gestures that do not require love poems and love notes. Perhaps you'll see a sample here that will entice you along that same journey. So sit back and let your fancy take flight. In the first group, we'll look at combining images and words. I'll begin with the romance cartoon strip. To make this item, I picked photos from a similar time or activity or theme. In this example, I've chosen images that are typical activities Judy is involved in during the autumn. And each image then is narrated by a caption underneath it, potentially very funny. When done digitally, you can have more than one version. This one simulates charcoal effects using a Photoshop filter. And here I chose a pop art style instead of the typical glossy photo look. Scrapbooks are familiar to most people. This sample is from a very early scrapbook. Judy is an excellent reader, and I love it when she reads a book out loud to me where I can actually follow along with the story and the characters. We have enjoyed both children's and adult books this way for a great number of years. Early scrapbooks were all done by hand. I filled the dining room table with scraps of paper, cut up photos, scissors, paste, and glue. This one is from the 10th anniversary we celebrated in a hotel where my parents honeymooned. By the 13th anniversary, I owned a computer. I could now scan in photos from the film camera and use desktop publishing software. It was a lot less messy, but it also lacked the handmade look of earlier albums. Now, if you're not a photographer, you still have many options. This page is made almost entirely from postcards and business cards, which I collected from my favorite shops on a return visit to my vacation home from my youth, which is Carmel, California. Here, in this next one, I've exploited all my digital powers by combining many different images into a single poster called Who is Judy? You're not limited to having your expressions crammed into a 4x5 print or an 8x10 glossy photo. This one, in fact, is printed on 11 by 17 inch paper. Cards present a similar option for many people. On our 20th anniversary, Judy got the bug, and she went through all the old extra photos, got them out by hand, and pasted them atop a store-bought card. Can you see near the top where she simply took our pictures and overlaid them over the existing image? Now, if you open up the card, you'll see our personal history parading across the insides. In group 2, we've added objects to our repertoire of gestures. I'll start with the nonverbal objects. You look around, you see your everyday items, and you think to yourself, I could decorate that. It's digital art. This is digital folk art at its finest. It needs no words. It speaks with its weight, feel, and when filled with coffee, with an aroma. Here is another folk art object, an apron with a black and white photo of Judy and Frankie. And when stained with food, it comes to life. Scaling down to the size of an M&M chocolate piece, here you see the image of Judy and me imprinted on tiny candies, then arranged into an I love you message. Martha Stewart, eat your heart out. Forget the chores and implements of work, think play. Now this photograph was digitally hand colorized and then printed out as a puzzle. And later, for my 60th birthday, we ordered a Jones soda adorned with our own label. We used a picture from my baby book on the left and a current image on the right. Next, we'll add words and thereby make what you might call a hyphenated word object. Adding words to objects transforms both. Here a simple rock becomes an elegant conveyor of a romantic gesture. I added my love to this green monetary instrument, this personal check. The check and the two labels were originally incorporated into a birthday card for Judy, and later I placed the elements in a scrapbook. I liked the idea so much that I repeated it a few years later on this yellow check. This is a detail from a carving. The poem does not appear in the book, only in wood. You don't have to make everything yourself. On our 20th anniversary, I purchased a trophy and had inscribed on the base, Love Trophy, 1976 to 1996, first place wife. Remember the good old days before laser printers, before the internet? You could use your trusty dot matrix printer to generate a banner like this one, and then nail it across the garage door. Besides the trophy shop, keep an eye out at the next crafts fair. In this situation, I found a local potter who could make a ceramic which reads, "To the love of my life, I do it over and over, again and again." And here again is the CD cover, which serves as our transition to the next and final group, which enlists the power of sound. Group 3 adds in the spoken word or songs. Making a musical CD for someone special, I think, dates back about 100 years. Okay, just 10. In the old days, though, you would have had to pay the wandering minstrels to sing to Judy. This one was done for her very special party celebrating the Blue Moon in 2009. I used, again, iTunes to generate the cover art. Now, Judy has always been a lunatic, or what we call a lover of the moon. While practicing making our blue martinis, I captured this image for a party poster. And we'll end with the possibilities for multimedia conveyances of love. In my opinion, slideshows are much easier to make than movies, and they really jump out when you add music. Now, if technology is a barrier for you, simply hire a teenager to combine your images and favorite tunes in a slideshow. This is the first live in the show that can be viewed online later on. I hope this presentation has stirred up your own thoughts about the possible romantic gestures you can make in your life. When we consider the alternatives to the traditional love poem or letter and move off the page of written words, we suffer an embarrassment of riches. Thank you.